Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great. In today's video, we're diving into some serious drama that's been unfolding in Port Charles. From shocking confessions to life-threatening attacks, there's no shortage of twists and turns happening. Buckle up, because things are about to get crazy, and you won't want to miss a single detail. Let's break it all down and go over the most jaw-dropping moments and what might happen next. Let's kick things off with Curtis. This guy's got a lot on his plate right now, and it looks like he's ready to shake up Port Charles in a big way. Curtis is fully aware that Drew has been playing him from the sidelines, and now he's ready to make his move. But here's the catch: Curtis doesn't want to play by Drew's rules. Instead of following Drew and Michael's plan to boot Drew out of Aurora Media, Curtis is planning something entirely different. He's done being a pawn in their game, and now he's got a scheme of his own that could change everything. The most shocking part of all of this? Curtis confesses his intentions to Portia in the latest promo, and there's no turning back now. Curtis clearly has a vision of his own future, one where he takes control of his destiny instead of waiting for others to dictate his fate. Portia, being Curtis's partner in crime, in a way, doesn't seem to have any qualms about his decision. In fact, it's hard to see why she would have any issues with what he's planning. After all, Portia herself has been acting a little shady lately, keeping some things to herself and playing the game as well. In Port Charles, no one is exactly innocent, and Curtis's bold move might just be the thing to shake things up for the better, at least for him. Now, let's switch gears and talk about Dex and Jocelyn. The holidays are supposed to be a time of joy and peace, but for Dex and Joss, that couldn't be further from the truth. Just as they were getting into the holiday spirit, picking out their Christmas tree and hanging ornaments, they found themselves at the center of a terrifying event. Dex was viciously stabbed at the Christmas market, and the moment of peace they were enjoying quickly turned into a nightmare. In the aftermath, Jocelyn was beside herself with worry, unsure of whether Dex would make it through. Despite his injuries, Dex reassures Joss that he'll be okay. But the real question is, can he actually make that promise? We've seen plenty of characters in Port Charles come and go due to hospital-related incidents, and unfortunately, not all of them have made it out alive. Just look at Sam. Her mysterious condition has left everyone guessing, and now, with Dex hospitalized, there's a very real fear that he could be the next victim of the Digitalis killer, aka Cyrus Renault. While Dex fights for his life, Jocelyn must confront the terrifying reality that their future might not be as bright as she once thought. What if Dex becomes another casualty in this ongoing web of intrigue and violence that seems to surround them all? Speaking of Cyrus Renault, it's about time that Anna finally gets serious about interrogating him. There's been enough evidence to suggest that he's at the center of a lot of the chaos that's been brewing in Port Charles, and it's high time someone takes a closer look at his involvement. Think back to when Cyrus tried to ship Lulu off to South Carolina. He was trying to orchestrate her disappearance in a way that only someone with sinister motives would. He's also been hanging around the hospital quite a bit, most notably when he was seen injecting Sam's 4 with Digitalis, the deadly drug that's been linked to a string of mysterious deaths in the town. And now, on top of all that, he was near the scene when Dex was attacked. The evidence is too strong to ignore any longer. For Anna, it's now a matter of time before she confronts Cyrus head-on and starts connecting the dots. She knows that if she's going to make any real progress on these ongoing criminal cases in Port Charles, she needs to bring Cyrus in for questioning. The problem? Cyrus is not someone who will just roll over and give up information. He's cunning, manipulative, and always seems to be one step ahead. But Anna is no slouch herself. She knows the stakes, and she's more than ready to take on the challenge. It's safe to say that this interrogation will be a turning point in the case, one way or another. While the crime drama continues to unfold, there's a bit of good news for a change. Isaiah, who has been making a name for himself in the medical field, shares some exciting news with Jordan. He's landed a gig at General Hospital, which is no small feat considering how competitive the medical field can be. But that's not all. Isaiah's work was instrumental in Lulu's recovery. His skills played a key role in getting her back on her feet, and he's clearly feeling more confident than ever. When he shares this news with Jordan, there's no doubt that she's proud of him. After all, Lulu's miraculous recovery has been a huge turning point in Port Charles, and Isaiah played a major part in making it happen. For Jordan, this is a welcome reminder that not all the news coming out of General Hospital is bad. There's still hope for the good guys, even in a town that often seems overrun with chaos. Unfortunately, not all the news is good. In fact, for Nina, things are looking a bit grim, especially when Drew shows up asking for her help. Drew, who has been creating enemies left and right, now finds himself reaching out to Nina, perhaps hoping to smooth things over with her. But here's the real question: does Nina still feel any loyalty to Drew? Or has her patience for him completely run out? Their connection has been strained for some time now, with the two of them only crossing paths for campaign-related matters. Nina hasn't been seen much in Drew's corner lately, and it's clear that their relationship has cooled. Given Drew's recent actions, rubbing people the wrong way and pushing everyone to the edge, it's hard to imagine Nina stepping in to help him now. Her time for supporting Drew might just be over. She's a smart woman who knows when to cut ties, and with everything that's been going on lately, she might just decide that Drew isn't worth her time anymore. It's not clear whether Nina will give him the cold shoulder or if she'll try to help him in some misguided effort, but one thing's for sure: their dynamic is at a crossroads, and something has to give. As we watch all of these dramatic developments unfold, it's clear that Port Charles is far from peaceful. From Curtis's bold moves to Dex's near-death experience, every character is being forced to make tough decisions. And with Anna gearing up to confront Cyrus, it's only a matter of time before things reach a boiling point. Will the truth finally come to light, or will the criminals of Port Charles continue to operate from the shadows? Next, we're diving into some serious drama that's playing out in Port Charles. From personal conflicts to unexpected attacks, this town has no shortage of jaw-dropping moments. Let's break down the latest happenings. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single detail. We start with Jocelyn, who's just come back from a run. As she enters the house, she finds Trina sitting at the table, deeply focused on her computer. Trina's been working hard on her art history presentation, but when Joss walks in, Trina immediately tells her that something wild just happened. Apparently, Kai, her project partner, has finished his part of their presentation and sent it over. And according to Trina, it's really good. In fact, it's so good that it's kind of putting her own work to shame. She says Kai has gone above and beyond, doing far more than just his fair share, which, let's be honest, would make anyone feel a little self-conscious. Joss, always the supportive friend, thinks this is a great thing because it means Trina's life just got a little easier, right? She doesn't have to worry about finishing Kai's part, since it's already done and it's top-notch. But Trina's reaction is more complex. Sure, she's happy, but there's an underlying annoyance. After all, if Kai's work turns out to be better than hers, what does that say about her own contributions to the project? Trina starts questioning whether she's been too hard on him in the past. Joss, not missing a beat, reminds her that she did warn her about being too harsh. She tells Trina that it's clear Kai is smart, that he genuinely wants to earn a good grade, and that he's doing his part to make sure she gets the grade she deserves, too. Trina may have been skeptical of Kai's commitment, but it looks like he's proving her wrong, and maybe that's a good thing after all. Meanwhile, Felicia, James, and Georgie are out enjoying a little family time, picking out a Christmas tree. It's a picture-perfect holiday moment, at least until the chaos begins. Dex is on patrol, keeping an eye on things as usual, and he spots Felicia. He takes a moment to say hello and introduces his new partner, Lauren Jackson. Just as things seem calm, Cyrus Renaud, of all people, shows up in his typical fashion. He's ringing a bell and preaching about the season of giving, asking people for donations. If there's one thing Port Charles can always rely on, it's Cyrus finding a way to make everything feel suspicious and uncomfortable. But that's not the worst of it. Just as Cyrus is going about his usual antics, a group of drunk football players stumbles onto the scene. These guys are loud, obnoxious, and ready to start trouble. They begin bickering with each other about the upcoming game, and before anyone knows it, things escalate. The players from PCU and Landview start shoving each other, exchanging insults, and in a flash, a full-on brawl breaks out right there in the middle of the tree lot. Felicia quickly springs into action, sending Georgie and James away to keep them safe, while Dex and Lauren jump in to break up the fight. It's a chaotic scene, but Dex and Lauren manage to get control of the situation. They order the players to leave the premises immediately, threatening them with arrest if they don't comply. Dex confiscates their booze as a warning and ensures the troublemakers are sent on their way. However, just when things seem to settle down, something much darker is lurking in the shadows. As Dex heads toward a trash can in a back alley to dispose of the confiscated alcohol, he doesn't notice someone approaching him from behind. The figure is dressed in dark clothing, wearing gloves and a jacket, and carrying a large, menacing Bowie knife. Without any warning, the attacker strikes. The knife plunges deep into Dex's lower back, and he's immediately sent into a world of pain. Dex feels the intense sting of the wound as he crumples to the ground, the weight of the injury quickly overcoming him. It all happens so fast, one moment Dex is just doing his job, keeping the peace, and the next, he's been stabbed. He tries to make sense of what's happening, but the pain is overwhelming. He doesn't have the luxury of understanding who's behind the attack or why it's happening, only that someone has targeted him. Is this the work of Cyrus, or is there a deeper conspiracy at play here? Whoever did this to Dex is no amateur. The precision of the attack and the quiet, calculated way the figure approached him suggests that this wasn't just a random act of violence, it's part of something much bigger. Dex falls to the ground, his vision blurring as he tries to stay conscious. He's used to dealing with danger, but this is different. This time, there's no fight left in him. He's been caught off guard, and his body is starting to betray him. As he lies there in the alley, all he can think about is whether he'll survive this attack. Will someone find him in time to save him, or is this the end of the line for Dex? With his life hanging in the balance, Port Charles will soon find out just how deep this new threat goes. As if the situation couldn't get any worse, Dex's condition is now a ticking clock, and everyone in Port Charles who knows him will have to face the question, who would want to hurt him? Was it Cyrus? A personal enemy? Or perhaps something more calculated? With Dex's life on the line and a potential conspiracy unfolding, we're in for a wild ride as we await answers. Stay tuned, because the fallout from this attack will leave everyone questioning their safety and their loyalties in this dangerous game. From shocking attacks to unexpected revelations, there's drama around every corner in Port Charles. Let's dive in and break down what's happening with Dex, Sasha, Willow, and the rest of the crew. There's a lot to cover, and things are only going to get crazier from here. We pick up the action in the plaza, where things are about to take a very serious turn. Lauren, Dex's new partner, is doing her rounds and checks in with Felicia, hoping to get an update on Dex. But Felicia has no idea where he is. The plaza's still buzzing with the usual holiday activity, people shopping for Christmas trees, families out enjoying the season, but something's off. It's not long before Lauren spots Dex. She sees him in the distance, but as she approaches, her relief quickly turns to alarm. Dex is standing, but barely. He's clearly in pain, clutching his side, struggling to stay upright. It's obvious something's wrong, but it's not until he says the words that everything clicks into place, "Someone stabbed me." In that moment, the weight of the situation hits Lauren. She immediately calls an officer down, her voice filled with urgency. This isn't just an injury, this is an attack. Dex, a man who's spent years in the line of duty, now finds himself the victim of a brutal crime. Felicia arrives on the scene soon after, and as she approaches, it becomes clear just how serious things are. Dex is losing consciousness fast, his breathing shallow, his face pale. The sight of him in this state sends a ripple of shock through everyone who knows him. Dex has always been the one who steps in to protect others, who's always in control, but now it's him who needs saving. This moment hits harder than anyone could have expected, and it's clear that no one in Port Charles is safe, not even those who dedicate their lives to keeping the peace. Felicia's voice trembles as she tries to assess the situation, but the reality is that Dex is slipping away fast. Every second counts. Lauren does her best to keep him conscious, talking to him to try and get him to stay alert. But Dex's condition is worsening, and as his eyes flutter shut, the fear sets in. Is Dex going to make it? Who attacked him? And why? Is this a random act of violence, or is there a deeper conspiracy at play? As the scene unfolds, it's clear that this is no ordinary stabbing, it's part of something much bigger. Everyone is left in suspense, anxiously awaiting answers to the questions that are beginning to spiral out of control. While the drama unfolds in the plaza, the Quartermain kitchen offers a brief respite from the chaos. Maxie walks in to find Sasha decorating a gingerbread house for the upcoming family Christmas party. It's one of those rare, quiet moments in Port Charles, something you'd expect to see in a Hallmark movie. But Maxie, ever the woman of action, isn't here for the holiday cheer. She came to check in on Lulu, but Sasha lets her know that Lulu is staying at her mom's place for the time being. With the holiday season in full swing, it's clear that everyone's got their hands full with family and personal matters. Maxie, never one to let things go, shifts the conversation to something that's clearly been on her mind: Sasha's pregnancy. She gently presses Sasha about what she's decided regarding the baby, knowing that this is a huge decision and one that Sasha's been carrying around for a while. Sasha pauses before answering, taking a deep breath. After a long moment of reflection, she reveals that she's made the decision to keep the baby. There's a calm resolve in her voice, but it's clear that this decision wasn't made lightly. Sasha's been through a lot, and this pregnancy, though unexpected, is now her reality. Maxie's eyes soften as she hears the news, and without hesitation, she tells Sasha that she's going to be an incredible mother. Sasha thanks her, but you can tell that the weight of the decision is still on her shoulders. It's not easy to navigate this kind of life change, especially when there are so many unknowns. Maxie, sensing that there's more to the story, presses a little further, asking Sasha about the baby's father. Sasha, clearly uncomfortable, admits that the father was a one-night stand. It's a brief, almost matter-of-fact explanation, but Maxie's not done yet. She asks if Sasha has any way of tracking him down. After all, he is the father of the child. But Sasha quickly shuts that down, saying that she has no idea where to start. She doesn't have any interest in pursuing the father. He was just a stranger, and Sasha is determined to handle this pregnancy on her own. Just as the conversation starts to settle, Willow enters the kitchen, and the atmosphere shifts instantly. Willow's clearly not in the mood for holiday talk or casual conversation. She's here to grab some medicine for Amelia, who has an ear infection, but there's an unspoken tension between her and Sasha that's impossible to ignore. Sasha tries to steer the conversation back to the gingerbread house, but Maxie, ever the curious one, can't help but ask, what's going on between Sasha and Willow? There's something off in the air, and Maxie wants to get to the bottom of it. Sasha hesitates for a moment before giving Maxie the full rundown. Apparently, what she had said to Cody about Willow got out, and now Willow is furious with herself. She's angry because she feels like she's been caught. The perfect image she's tried to project has been shattered, and now she's struggling with the fallout. Maxie listens intently but isn't exactly sympathetic. She calls out Willow for being a bit preachy, pointing out that people make mistakes. Maxie, with a wry smile, shares her own story, an affair she had with Lucky while he was still married to Elizabeth. Maxie tells Sasha that just because someone makes a mistake doesn't mean they should be defined by it forever. It's a powerful moment, one where Maxie shows Sasha that she doesn't have to hide from her past mistakes. We all have things we regret, but that doesn't mean we can't move forward. The conversation soon drifts back to Sasha's pregnancy, and Maxie, in her usual Scorpio fashion, doesn't let the subject go. She presses Sasha one last time about the father of the child. Sasha is firm in her response, telling Maxie that the father is just a stranger, and this baby will be hers and hers alone. She's resolute in her decision, and while Maxie might not fully understand, she respects Sasha's choice. But Maxie, being the true Scorpio she is, can't resist one last remark. She reminds Sasha that she's now a Scorpio too, and that means Maxie's going to be a little intrusive and she'll be asking more questions, whether Sasha likes it or not. Sasha laughs, but there's a slight apprehension in her expression. She knows Maxie's not going anywhere, and that's just the way things are with Scorpios. As the conversation wraps up, there's a subtle shift in the air. Maxie and Sasha share a laugh, but the underlying tension between Willow and Sasha is still palpable. In the background, the holiday preparations continue, but it's clear that there's more to come. With Dex in serious condition and secrets simmering beneath the surface, the drama in Port Charles is far from over. Each character has their own set of challenges, and as the holiday season approaches, it's clear that nothing in this town is as perfect as it seems. Stay tuned for more, because things are about to get even more complicated, and I can't wait to see what happens next.